Hey guys, today was Apple's WWDC, the big developer conference for 2021, and we're going to tell you about our top 10 things that we found really interesting. Everything from iOS 15, macOS Monterey, some big changes for the AirPods, and a lot of privacy changes, so stay tuned. Okay, well, let's get into it. We've got some notes here we took, and I think the big thing is iOS 15.
Yes, coming this fall.
Coming this fall, although the beta is available today and next month, July, for the public if they want to try it.
Okay.
But wait until we try it first. But the big thing I think for Apple was FaceTime, some changes they did to FaceTime.
Yeah.
They kind of really made it into a whole new category for them. They got something new called FaceTime Links, which allows you to invite people from outside of the Apple ecosystem in.
Crazy, right? So if you're a Windows user or an Android user, you can send them a link to have a FaceTime with you. It's through a web browser and they can't initiate any FaceTime, but this is the first time we've seen it kind of go out of the ecosystem.
So it's kind of like Zoom, how you can do like a web invite.
I wonder if eventually they will maybe bring it to Windows and Android to be Zoom-like. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So the other thing they also added something is called SharePlay. And that allows you to have a chat, so you and I could be on a FaceTime video chat, but then we can bring other things in, like we can bring in a streaming service. We want to watch The Mandalorian together, for example. And you can even do things like watch TikToks together. And really crazily, you can even, while you're on your call, watching something, you can go into a picture-in-picture mode and go and order pizza and stuff like that too. So like you can do all these crazy things at the same time while you're on a call with multiple friends, watching something together.
Well, same goes for music. What's interesting about the streaming video component is obviously that works with the Apple universe, the Apple TV shows and stuff, Apple TV Plus, but there's an API out for these other streaming services. So there's only a select number available up front, so that would be like Disney Plus and Hulu. Netflix isn't in there yet, so I wonder if they're going to.
No, well Netflix kind of has their own version of that too, but you can watch Twitch streams, even TikTok.
You love TikTok.
Yeah,
okay.
I do.
Focus is another feature, which was really interesting.
Yeah, so right now you have the Do Not Disturb option, but this actually allows you to create specialized sort of themes for how you're not going to be disturbed. So say you want to just show me all my work stuff, it'll hide everything else. You want to see just your personal stuff, you can just see that stuff and it hides all your work stuff. So the idea being is you can have your work stuff set up for during the day, and then at say 5 o'clock, it switches over to your personal view. And so essentially it's a scheduled focus.
I like the idea. I wonder how many people will use that. Do you know what I mean? Like we're so connected now. I don't know, like I still want to get all my notifications from stuff. But I guess for some people that maybe want to shut off work at the end of the day, you know, like Slack and all the business messaging programs, you could shut that off.
Well, it does seem like you can prioritize too.
Yeah.
So you can choose your apps, which notifications you get and how they're done. They've also made some updates to the live text functionality
This is crazy.
in your photos.
Yes.
So if you take a picture, say, of a restaurant that has a sign, you can actually select that name on your photo and copy and paste that into something else. Or say you're looking at a poster for something with a phone number, you can just click on the phone number in the photo and you can make a call directly from that.
That is totally wild.
Yeah.
And from a business perspective, I like this. If someone's done a whole thing on a whiteboard, you've done a whole bunch of brainstorming, you can take a picture of that and then go in and select the text, the handwritten text, and copy and paste that in.
It's essentially live OCR, and it works even with the translation services as well, so you can translate into another language.
So they also have the capability in photos now to identify objects in there, like a dog.
Yes, like a dog that's barking right now.
Yes.
Yeah, so it actually has that metadata and that machine learning to detect what's in the photo, and you can actually click on a photo of a dog, and it'll actually search out and tell you what the breed is.
Amazing, amazing times. So the wallet was a big thing for me as well. And in Canada, we don't have the same amount of features that I think they have in the US. You know, we can do the transaction cards, like our debit cards and Visa cards. I think I have my Cineplex movie card in there as well, boarding passes, but they're taking that to another level now.
Yeah, so aside from extended virtual keys for your cars, if you have a supported vehicle like BMW, for example, later this year, you can actually do things like scan your corporate badge, for example, and put that in there.
I love that part.
Yeah.
And they're also going to be putting official documentation in as well. Right now they're working with different states, so you can actually have like an official government sanctioned ID that you can use for various purposes through the Apple Wallet. They're working with the TSA down there kind of their airport authority, to have all that information right in the Apple Wallet, which is kind of cool.
And even your hotel room keys. So starting
Yeah.
this fall, Hyatt is going to actually send you your key via an email that you add to your wallet before you even check in.
Wouldn't that be amazing? You know, sometimes when we go down to Vegas, for example, and it's typically during CES, and you get to the hotel, and I swear to God, there's like 800 people in line.
Yes.
And so wouldn't that be awesome if they could just email you?
I thought you were going to say you don't have to worry about losing your key anymore, because you
Well,
rarely lose your phone, but
There's
you lose your keys.
I lose my hotel key all the time, so that's a kind of a cool feature. So another big thing with announcements for the AirPods, there's all sorts of advancements there with spatial audio, but one conversation booster feature for AirPod Pros. So you could be wearing your AirPod Pros, and if you're talking to someone over dinner in a restaurant and it's noisy, it can actually isolate your partner's voice that you're talking to and bring that up and take away the ambient noise in the background.
It essentially turns your AirPods into a form of hearing aid.
It looked really cool, and
Yeah.
you can actually go in the settings and actually monkey around with how much of the audio that you want to hear, whether it's just the voice or you want to hear everything. So I think that's going to be another reason that people will want to look at AirPods.
So let's talk about the iPad OS and some of the functionality that they've added to that. And one of the big things for me was the multitasking. They've added sort of this little button for multitasking that allows you to basically have a split view that you can really interchange really easily. And there's a little shelf at the bottom that shows you all the things that you have open and going on, and you just drag and drop things right into those sides.
Yeah, what I found was the ease of use on the new feature there, because they've had the multi-view for a while now, or the split screens, but I find it difficult. Like, if you're not doing it all the time, then trying to figure out how to get the two screens going and getting rid of the one screen, you know, again, it's not that complicated, but there's a bit of learning curve there.
Yeah.
This just seemed like 10 times easier to get into it. And then you could have like your email open and a web browser. You could then open up an email and minimize it down to that little shelf. It was really kind of cool.
But what was nice though is you'd have like a browser on the side and then your email on this side. You open up an email, it pops up on top as like a third pile.
Kind of almost laptop-y or Mac OS-y.
Yeah, like expose.
Yeah. I think they're realizing that the iPads and iPad Pros, for many people now, are a complete laptop replacement. So they need to have a little more flexibility on the multitasking.
Yes. So let's talk about privacy. Apple made a big deal about privacy, and
Yes.
they always have. They've got some really interesting new features I think that marketing people are probably going to hate.
Yeah, one of them is mail privacy protection. It'll actually mask your IP now to the people that are sending you the email. And that's how a lot of marketers track you when they're sending you all these junk mails or spam, or you know, in many cases you're opting in. For
Yep.
example, like Banana Republic. I opted in to their emails so I could get the discount every time I go into their stores. Now, I swear to God, I'm getting like 10 emails a day from them.
Yes, every hour.
Yes, and they're using that information, and rightfully so, because I gave them permission to track me on
Yes.
what I'm doing. So this is a feature now that will help alleviate some of that.
So it'll hide your IP address, it'll hide your location, and it'll also prevent them from knowing if you even opened the email, because a lot of times there's like these hidden graphics that are embedded in the email.
Yeah, the little pixel.
Yeah, the hidden pixels.
We use that.
Yes, we do.
Not anymore.
Safari also will hide your IP address when you're online shopping,
Yes.
which is huge. Siri now has on-device speech recognition. So basically what that means is when you do ask Siri to do something for you, your request doesn't leave your device.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because all the other ones, like Amazon's and Google's, they do use the cloud to process pretty well all of the voice commands.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Siri obviously will still need that for some voice commands, but a lot of it she'll be able to do if you weren't connected to the internet.
Yeah, so you can create shortcuts and stuff like that. It will still function like launching apps and taking photos, that kind of stuff that
Yeah.
don't need the internet to work, which would fail right now if you tried to use those.
Exactly.
So the other big thing is iCloud. They added a whole bunch of new things to iCloud. There's account recovery now, so I can actually delegate a family or friend to give a recovery code to that when I say get locked out of my account, I can ask you, hey Mike, I need my code. You can generate a code that you've been approved to manage my account that way.
I love that. I
So-
love that, yeah.
So that's really interesting. So if you have a family member that's always locked out, you can be that delegated
My
person.
parents. My
Right.
parents are always locking themselves out of their phones because they can't remember the passwords. Or they can't make app purchases because they've forgotten the passwords. So I love that.
They've also added a digital legacy. This is someone you would assign so that in the event of your passing, your account doesn't just disappear into the ether. Someone else in your family can take control of that account, go in and manage things, close things off, shut things down, whatever needs to be done.
I always kind of worry about that.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, but I just think if I'm gone, like how are they going to find my password and all that? This is going to make it easier for my wife or my kids to get in there.
Right, turning off all your subscriptions, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So, but they also have something called iCloud Plus, which is a new private relay service that's included in the price of iCloud, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
they're not charging more for it.
Right. This securely allows you to browse Safari, and it uses an encryption, and it's sent through 2 internet relays. So anyone that's tracking you can't, because they're going through all these encrypted relays. It's essentially how hackers get around the world,
Yeah.
because they're not traceable that way. And they also have Hide My Email, which is a new option for random email addresses that can be generated on the fly for a specific website or a service that you want to sign up for.
Yeah.
And then you can manage those and delete those randomly generated email addresses later on, which is really cool. And even HomeKit secure video support. So this allows you to properly encrypt your HomeKit capable cameras, doorbells, that type of thing.
Yeah.
All part of that iCloud ecosystem, which is really cool.
And the video in there doesn't count towards your iCloud storage, which I think is really important.
That's right.
So let's, I think we're going to skip over the watch stuff. There wasn't,
Wasn't a lot.
yeah, I mean, there was a lot, but nothing that really kind of like blew my mind.
No.
You know, I think the big thing was like the little portrait mode photos.
Yes. Yeah, little 3D photos that you can scroll with your
Yeah.
with your crown.
If anything, they should have brought in, you know, that Clockology app?
Yes,
That is something that they should have incorporated in. You've got to check out our video on that.
coming soon. So let's talk about macOS, and the next version of macOS is going to be called Monterey.
Yes.
And it's got something really cool called Universal Control. And this is basically an update to continuity, which allows you to seamlessly move between different devices in your Apple ecosystem.
This is crazy. So if you've got like an iMac, you've got a MacBook and an iPad, you can use one of the keyboards and mouse or trackpad to basically drag things between them. They all still have their same interface. It's not like Sidecar where you're just extending a screen.
Right.
But if you've done something on the iPad, you've made a logo, you can drag it across with your iMac keyboard into your PowerPoint or your Final Cut or whatever you're using.
So you no longer have to do like, sharing from your phone to your computer. You can just literally just drag it over there.
It's spooky magical. Like
Yeah.
I'm interested to actually see how well that works.
Well, the demonstration they showed is they actually took a graphic file from Procreate on an iPad
Yeah.
and dragged it into Final Cut and dropped it onto a movie that was being edited. So, like,
that is seamless.
so seamless and
Yeah.
slick. It was really great. So the last thing we're going to talk about is some of the changes for Safari. And one of the big things for me was tab groups. So imagine you have a bunch of tabs that you always have to open, say for work or for play or your friends or whatever like that. You can create little groups for those. So it's one-click access and it opens up all those tabs at once.
Yeah.
Kind of like a bookmark folder, but a little bit more seamless. And the really cool thing is they're synced across all your devices on Safari.
Yeah, Safari, it's a good web browser. Like I on my Mac devices, I have Chrome as well, but because I love Chrome, because I'm a Windows guy as well. But I'm finding more and more now that I'm kind of using Safari as my go-to.
Yes. So one last thing that they also added to Safari is extensions for your iPad and for your iPhone.
Yes.
So you have all this additional functionality will be extended to your mobile devices, which is great.
So if you got things like that Honey,
Yeah.
the coupon thing
Yep.
on your web browser, now that can work seamlessly on your iPhone.
Because most of the time you're shopping on your phone anyways, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yes.
Anyway, that's kind of a wrap up of some of our favorite features or ones that we found most notable. There are dozens of others, so you'll want to check those out definitely.
Yes. We're going to talk more about it on our radio show and podcast that'll be on this weekend on Get Connected.
Check it out.
So was there anything that was missing from today's announcements, or is there something you were looking forward to that didn't come out? Or what was your favorite thing? Let us know in the comments down below. And while you're at it, don't forget to
Check out all the other videos that we have on our Get Connected YouTube channel. And of course, subscribe if you haven't done already. And hit that little notification tab so you know when we come out with new videos.